taking off in 5, 4, 3, 2. Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy T.O., as you know.
Boy, O-Rain, real name, no games, no gimmicks.
It's a motherfucking Fade podcast, the one-stop shop for everything TV, media, and film related, along with any of the goddamn thing we're going to talk about, coming to you live direct, Proof of Concept Studios. What in the fuck is up? Hold on 1 second. Is this coming through? Uh-oh. Why don't I hear it on my end?
I hear you, man. You're good.
Yeah. You know what? Okay. So it's my own setup here. Okay. All right.
I'm fucking shit up. Do you want to filibuster?
No. You know, we're fine. We're
good. Are we streaming right now?
No, we are hot.
We're hot.
We're
live.
Hot.
They can hear us,
as they say in the
holy
broadcast industry.
We gotta get this together.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
Yeah.
How you feeling?
All is well. Yeah. It's a weird feeling. This is our first Sunday without football.
No, technically, I count the Pro Bowl week.
The Pro Bowl.
I count that week. Nah, I count that week as a
but
non-football
it's still
week.
part of the NFL season. The NFL season has officially ended.
That's officially the beginning of the offseason for me.
True,
is the Pro Bowl week. But because I have no interest in the Pro Bowl. Although I did watch highlights, wasn't that bad. Did you see some highlights from it? Is it flag football?
Yeah, I like the fact that they, instead of going with we're going to be serious about this, we're going to pretend like these players are actually playing, and we're just we're just going to have fun. Flag football, skills challenges, just make it fun. But the old Pro Bowl format, especially over the past 10 years, just didn't work. Yeah. Players used to play in the Pro Bowl.
Well, it's because they would get hurt. Right?
Yeah.
Or they'd be afraid of getting hurt. And I kept wondering, what's the difference between this and basketball? I was like, basketball, you can just fucking chill. Just don't play defense, right? It made some crazy dunk that you twist your ankle when you come down off of it. Just don't be an idiot. Is all you have to do. But in football, it's just even if you're not trying to miss tackle somebody, you can definitely fuck somebody out.
Yeah.
By just
too great a risk to play in the Pro Bowl.
But this flag football,
especially if you're a player and you are in a contract season.
Oh yeah, no,
I'm not about to lose $30 million. Fucking around.
I'll go to Hawaii some other time. I don't need to go for the Pro Bowl. Wherever the fuck they're having it.
I'm just gonna. I got a flu, but I'm here. Didn't
I see you at the club last night?
That's where I got the flu.
I got COVID. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, this has been a cool week for me. Busy week, but cool week. I've been thinking a lot about, our conversation that we had last week about these podcasts that, they talk about all these issues and things like that. And I went back and I listened to some of our stream from last week. And I will say, I feel 100% certain about everything that I said. I don't feel in doubt about anything. I think that these podcasts, they do speak in these general statements, which can have some sort of kernel of truth, but then they're without context. So then the conversations that we're all having back and forth gets very confusing and diluted. The reason why I'm bringing all this up is because more and more I see that there are a lot of young people who are coming up who I think, because I try to look at it from their perspective, not my perspective of somebody who's been on the earth for 35 years. So it's do I have all the experience in the world? No. I got, at this point in my life, I've got some experience, right? Yeah. I can safely say that I've been in a lot of rooms, had a lot of conversations, seen a lot of things in my lifetime, right? Have I seen it all? Fuck no. But I've seen a decent amount of things. And if I were a young person today, I'd be so confused as to what direction I should go in, because the internet has a way of persuading you that whatever the opinion is that you're looking at is the correct opinion. Even more to the point of that it's not even opinion, that it's just a fact, that this is just the way the world is in any direction. It doesn't matter if it's in the, fresh and fit sort of ecosphere. It doesn't matter if it's in the social justice warrior ecosphere. Whatever the thing is, the internet has a way of making you believe that whatever the thing you're listening to is that's it. There ain't nothing else out there. This is the only fucking thing.
I think for younger people, the internet, not just younger people, because there are people who are in their 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever, who are still very impressionable.
Yeah.
And if they hear something, they're likely to take it as fact, or it'll it'll steer them in a direction of like belief based off of like misinformation or just general strong opinion, but what they're hearing is not actually true. I don't know. That's tough because on one hand, it's kind of like, well, don't fucking believe everything you hear. You know what I mean? Like form your own opinions. It's tough
to tell a kid that.
It's tough for kids. Yes. For anyone under the age of like, 25, those people are highly impressionable. Yeah. Because I don't think you're really an adult until 25. That's when I'm like, all right, you're a grown fucking person.
Why say 25?
Because I just know that like at 21, like you're still just like, yo, what do I do?
Why face like that?
You just figured out what gas to get for your car. You're like, oh shit, I've been getting the wrong type of gas.
Premium.
Yeah. Like you're still very much figuring shit out. You're like, you could buy alcohol now, but like that's really the only major thing that happens between like 17 and 21 is one, you could buy alcohol, the other you can't. But you're still very like young in mind and heart. So you're impressionable. But like for people above the age of 25, I have like less sympathy for, them being like so easily dissuaded to believe certain things, because it's like whatever information you get, no matter where you get it from, fucking, and I feel like this is the problem with like very religious people too. It's like, well, whatever the Bible says is what I believe. And it's like, well, don't you ever take a second to slow down, interpret what you're hearing, and determine what it means to you and like in your life, right? I can go to church. We can hear the same message. I'm not just going to take it at face value. I'm going to like take it in. I'm going to think about it. And I'm going to be, how do I apply this to my life? Or do I even agree with this at all? And I think that is what people really need to do. And I don't care what they say on the Fresh and Fit podcast. Yeah. Whether it's bullshit, whether it's just for entertainment, whether they have like a bunch of brilliant women on, they have great conversation, or they have a bunch of dumb girls on, or they have stupid conversations.
Strong word with bunch. Right? I don't know.
Regardless of whoever they have on, no matter what anyone says, I'm always going to like, I'm listening. I'm going to try and understand like why this person thinks the way they think and feels the way they feel. And then I'm going to say, all right, what does it mean to me? Most of the time, I don't give a fuck. Yeah. Sometimes I will be like, okay, that's a little nugget. Whether I disagree with it or not, it's a little bit of a nugget.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, like the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think for like older people who might have these type of conversations and tend to fall for like, oh yeah, that's true because something happened to you, that the reason why, like, oh yeah, all women do this because it's like some woman took advantage of you or whatever the case is like, then you think, well, all women are this way or whatever the case is. That's pretty, I would say that it's pretty like juvenile. But yeah, for younger people, I feel like it's a weird world. Like I think I'm just trying to appreciate that it's just a weird world to inhabit. Like I could imagine when we were growing up having this level of access to like everything, and each other, and what that would have done to like the dynamics of,
yeah,
friendships.
Then we would have ended up like these motherfuckers out here. I'm happy. Like I genuinely am happy we grew up during the time that we grew up. And I say that and it sounds like, oh, you're just speaking from your own anecdotal experience, but it's easy to like self-confirm, right? Yeah. But we grew up during a time when we were not tied to our digital devices. Yeah. So it's like we would actually go hang out with our friends. We would go knock on each other's door like, yo, is Tune home? Yeah.
That sounds preposterous. Now, right? Kidding me?
Now it's like
the fuck ring, are you knocking on my
doorbell and someone's like, what the fuck doing do you want?
Who are you?
I'm recording you right
Calling
now.
The cops.
I just came to play basketball with your son.
I don't have a son. It's like, I see him in the window. Like, he's right there.
Right there. The police are on their way. Like, goddamn. But yeah, it's like we were able to go up to our friends' houses and like ride our bikes over there, knock on the door, and like you could hang out with your friends for like 6-7 hours.
I mean, I still think that happens. It's just the manner in which you do it is a little different, though.
Sure. Have you ever seen like young people hanging out together?
Yeah.
Everybody's on there. Just like people don't even put their phone. But like when we were kids, if we were all hanging out somewhere, we didn't have like cell phones. There was no Twitter, Instagram. We weren't tied to our devices.
Was like what did that make us better socially? Younger kids?
I'm not saying it made us better socially, but I think it made us more social for sure. Like I couldn't just distract myself with Instagram. Like we just had to talk and chill and hang out and play sports, whatever. We weren't hanging out just to post. there are lots of people who hang out with each other because they're like, oh, you've got a lot of followers, I got a lot of followers, so like let's hang out because we got a lot of followers, we're influencers, let's make content together.
But
we're not really friends.
Isn't it the same thing as like popularity? So for instance, like a lot of the popular kids in school would just hang out with other popular kids, like rather than hanging out with like other.
Sure. I mean, I played sports, right? So I would just hang out with like other, like football players or like guys who like played sports or, or just people in my fucking neighborhood, you know what I mean? But what we didn't do is hang out, but be 50% of our time was distracted by our devices, I was at a birthday party the other day, and this chick was live streaming. Yeah. At the dinner table. Yeah. I'm like, if it were my birthday, I would slap the shit out of that person. Get the fuck off the live stream. Like, this is my birthday dinner party. I was like, yo, that's insane. Also, I think we live in a point in time where
you go off on your old man rant. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
People share too much. Like, I saw a video the other day, and it was like this girl. She had just gotten into a car accident. Yeah. Right? The first thing she did, she was still bleeding.
Live streaming, yeah.
The car was still, she started live streaming. It's the first thing she did. I'm like, yo, call the police.
Did she even unbuckle herself?
Call your insurance company. The baby was still in the back of the car, fucking inhaling I don't believe that. Smoke fumes. There was no baby. I don't know if there was a baby. Right, but like, people share too much shit. Like, I don't want to see every day. I don't give a fuck about your food.
Yeah. I think
that's the number one thing I hate. Like, here's my butter noodles. Like, bitch, I don't care. Eat it.
I'll be honest. So there's this. I'll say two things. One, there's this guy who he does like reviews of food like in his car. And he'll go around like different like restaurants or whatever and be like, hey, I got this thing from whatever you guys told me to, or you guys recommended. I want to try it. You just watch him try it. I will say there's something about it that just makes me like want to like eat food, and so I enjoy watching. It's like really weird. I don't.
Yeah, but that's different.
Why is that different?
It's a little bit. It's wholly different because that's his thing. That's what he does. That's his shtick. He reviews food in his car where he goes. Oraine's talking about a dinner party where a chick was live streaming. That was not her event.
No.
That was not about her.
Well, that was. Like, I feel like that was a separate. Maybe I misunderstood. That was a separate thing.
Or even posting, the like, food pics and shit like that. That's different. People, like if you're just a regular person, and like Oraine, if you started posting,
this dude's
food
a regular
pics
person.
now,
What the fuck?
Like, if you started posting,
if I start posting food pics, something is wrong, and I need help.
Yeah.
Okay, I need someone to come to my aid because I'm going through something.
But doesn't that just mean that that's not your thing? Like what? Why?
That's my sure. You're right. It's not my thing. But also, why the fuck is it a thing? Like, I was on Facebook the other day, and like this guy I went to high school with, I'm not gonna say his name, but he posted a picture of it. Say his name. I don't want to give him that fame. He posted a picture of like, I guess what he had for dinner. It looked nasty as fuck. I'm like, it was just rice with sauce on it and like some like dry ass looking chicken and some like sauteed fucking spinach or whatever. I'm like, yo, just eat your dinner. Like, why the time it took you to take the picture and then post it and write a caption? Like, eat your fucking dinner.
You got to show people that the struggle is real, man.
But apparently,
but his post, it was like, here's my dinner for tonight. Eat healthy. Be great. Like that meal wasn't great.
Yeah.
How about you take the extra time to be greater and don't fucking post it?
Okay. So here I'm going to.
But yeah, maybe I'm just getting older.
You are. You're turning into was it Mr. Wilson off of Dennis? Who's the guy off of Dennis and Menace?
Mr. Wilson. Yeah,
you're turning into Mr. Get off my lawn, you stupid kid. When
I do have a lawn, I mean, I will get the fuck.
In advocation of the people who might post these type of things, I think sometimes what it could be, not all the time, but sometimes what it could be. Is that people might be maybe a bit like introverted. So doing things like this, however kind of like silly, dumb, whatever it is, might help them be like, all right, let me break out of my shell a little bit, because it's something that's like it's in a way like low risk, but might have the chance for at least some type of reward of just knowing you've expressed something with the world, and you weren't like fucking analyzing it and like, oh my god, it's got to be looking like a fucking Michelin star, restaurant quality type meal in order for me to post this. I was like, no, I made something, posted it, fuck it, like I feel like there's a case for fuck it. Just
Sure.
do it. Yeah, do the fucking thing. Yeah.
There honestly is a case for everything of why people do. Like I'm introvert, and this is me trying to reach out and trying to be more social. Or I'm extroverted. I just like to share shit and post shit and blah blah blah. Or I'm fucking, or maybe I just am making the wrong decisions. Like the woman who got into the car accident. The first thing she did was live stream.
Yeah,
her nose was still bleeding. She's, oh my god, I just wrecked my car. I'm like, bitch, you were probably live streaming while you crashed, and then you just maybe she just probably kept the stream going. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it's like I just feel like people share too much shit, whether it's the fact that I just don't care about it, or that like there's gonna be very negative repercussions for what you're sharing online, because once it's online, it's online. I mean, even if you delete it, if someone saved it, recorded it, captured it in any way, it's gonna live on the internet forever.
Yeah,
people are sharing too much shit, and not all of it is good.
What's your limit of things to share and not to share? Where do you draw the line?
Fucking like I'll share, like if I post something, and I don't post on Instagram much, but if I post something, it'll just be like something like very casual, social. Like, hey, I'm at this event. Here's picture of me there. Here's where I am. If anyone's here, fucking I don't know. I was here too. I don't know, but like I'm not. I don't really
that
like
was
use
the most rousing endorsement.
Yeah, right.
If anybody else was here, I was here too.
That's Like I just want to say, if I went missing, here's where I was.
As a catalog,
just documented. Yeah. But I don't care about I don't care about likes or followers or people's attention of like, oh my god, look how great of a life Lorraine is having. Like I don't want you to know most of my shit, and it's not because I'm like super secretive and private. It's because I just know most people don't care. The people who know what I'm doing in my life already know.
It's interesting that you base it off of what other people might think, meaning that other people might not care, so that's why you wouldn't post.
Well, the first one is I don't care what other people think, so like I don't post things that I don't want reactions or opinions to, because like I don't care what anyone else thinks about the thing. And then the second part of that is I also know that a lot of other people don't care. Like I know you don't care about what I'm eating, so I'm not going to post it.
But there's a lot of people
want your opinion anyway.
Have like these channels where they post shit about food, or they post what they're eating, whatever, and these channels like blow up. Not everyone, right?
Yeah.
For everyone that
that's
does,
intentional.
There's like 20 that don't, right? Like
that person probably trying to build something though, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Or somebody just doing it just because this is I know plenty of people who just post shit just to post it, and they're not overwhelmingly popular online, but it's popular enough where a lot enough people like react to it or are in the comment section or whatever the case is. And I think there's all I'm trying to say is there's something like I feel like the world has changed a bit in terms of like. I think our generation didn't have, at least when we were kids coming up, we didn't have the ability to do it. So we never really got to see. But if we had the ability, I feel like we would kind of just be in the same exact position. So I think it's a consequence of this is just the evolution of human nature, especially when you are introduced to things like this when you were younger.
Sure, yeah. You can't miss what you never had, right?
Exactly.
So if we didn't have it, we didn't miss it.
No, I think that's where it gets interesting, because I think we do miss it in a way. Like I think our generation is a very unique generation in that we're young enough where we can kind of still take advantage and do some of these things, but old enough where we could also still not care about it. We're like in an in-between.
Yeah, that's
arena.
why I said like I think I'm happy to have been born during the time that I was born. Now, granted, being born 50 years from now might be cooler because you have better technology, but then we also might not, fucking chicken may not exist anymore.
What are you sharing online then in 50 years, right? If kids are sharing what they share now,
there's gonna be fucking famine or something. Like I don't know. There's gonna be no cucumbers or something like that. With the way we're mass producing
climate
food
change,
at a rate that is just beyond what the ecosystem or the can produce. But anyway, I'm happy now that like I got pre-technology shit where you just go to the basketball court, you have fun, and like you actually spend time with the people that you're with when you're with them.
Yeah.
But then we got like I know how to use an iPhone and a laptop and all of the tech shit,
Yeah.
And then, but like we will, younger kids now are definitely going to be much more ahead of us. Like in the next 20 or 30 years, like
in terms of what?
So for example, in 20 years, I'm going to know how to use the technology that we have for the most part, but like there is going to be like cognitive regression, right? You're not going to learn it as fast and as quickly.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I'm not going to be like those older people who's like, what the fuck do I do? How do I get home?
You might be, dude. I don't know, dude. With how fast shit is changing nowadays and like what we use.
I think that I'm always going to make an effort to keep up with
ahead.
like whatever the new technology is.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be so adverse to like learning something new or experiencing something new or trying new shit, that like I just get lost. Like technology loses me.
Yeah.
But I will say that like, of course I'm not going to do everything. Like I don't have TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. I don't want to be on TikTok. But like whatever the next thing is that's not owned by the Chinese government, I'll probably I'll give that a try. Why not?
Yeah. Well, another thing that we might give a try is Ant-Man and the Wasp, which comes
tomorrow.
out. It was already out. We are going tomorrow to go see it. Nothing else has a lower rating, just FYI. We're going to give that a shot. We're going to talk about a little thing. Addie was able to find an article that brought up an interesting topic, that there was this contrast between critics and, the fans of whatever, property it might be. And in this case, Marvel fans versus critics. I have some interesting takes on that. But we'll get to that a little bit later. But Ant-Man and the Wasp came out this week. Next week, we are looking at Cocaine Bear comes out, which it looks like an infinitely interesting movie. If not informative, which it probably won't be, just entertaining. I think this movie will be, and
it's based on a true story, right?
Apparently, and it's has the privilege of being Ray Liotta's
this is his final film. Yeah.
At least to my knowledge, I don't think he had anything in the works post this film, but
it's got a Baltimore connection too.
Ooh, what's that?
Was the cocaine was supposed to come to Baltimore?
Nah.
The government was flying it in special.
The guy who plays a paramedic, Scott Seiss.
Okay.
He's a comedian who got big on Instagram and stuff, and this is one of his major roles. But he's straight from Baltimore.
Yeah.
Worked at the IKEA White Marsh, I think.
Rain's like, did he post a joke on? Fuck him.
Nah.
Why are you posting jokes online? Don't you do that?
No.
Keep it for you and your friends.
Comedy is great.
Yeah. Nah,
where the fuck you went and you had like a fucking here's my favorite tuna sub. Like I don't give a fuck, bitch.
Tuna sub.
Yeah, like I don't care.
Eating a tuna sub.
That
Are
used
you
to be my
hungry
go-to
today,
sub
man?
at Subway back in the day until I
gross.
realized that like I think it was like they tested the sub
None of
the
it's
quality
tuna.
of it. It was
Yeah,
it was like 5% real tuna.
Yeah. You know how we talked about if you eat a Reese's Big Cup, that you're probably in bad shape, right? If you're eating a foot-long tuna sub.
Yeah, back in the day.
Oh my god!
Especially when you were broken
way.
in college, or whatever. Like the $5
They
foot
have
long.
so many other things that you could have gotten other than.
But I like tuna.
Ugh.
I just didn't realize it wasn't tuna.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, easy to fool you with
Fish
that.
they caught in the Baltimore Harbor.
I mean, that shit didn't even, the consistency of it didn't even like look like tuna. Like I understand that if you throw a bunch of like mayonnaise and shit, that it can be creamy, but that it didn't even like. It just looked like gel, not gel, but like
it looked like I mean, it was really deli style tuna, which is just a lot of mayo and like maybe some like cucumbers or some onions in there or whatever. But yeah, like once you've had real tuna,
you're like, what the fuck
you
is
realize
this?
that the shit that they have at Subway,
it's not
very different
very
things.
different. Yeah, and it was like a bit like sweet too.
It was a little bit sweet, but
Yeah.
I would also do like this. It was like a sauce that they had that I would do. But yeah, I stopped eating that shit.
Oh god, did you
Long
put
story short,
sweet onion sauce on
I think
your-
so.
Gross.
It was good.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
Oh, god damn. Let's move on.
All right, I want to. We're gonna side rail for a second. What is your like weird food obsession? Like, what is like
My
a weird
weird?
thing? What is a weird thing that you eat all the time that most people probably what the fuck?
I got to ponder on this. A weird thing that I eat all the time that other people would say, "What the fuck is going on here?"
Except for ass. Everyone eats ass. Even the motherfuckers who lie about it. Yeah, I was at a comedy show recently, and like the comedian is asking like, who in here watches porn? Who in here like eats pussy? Who in here eats ass? Blah blah blah. And, like a bunch of motherfuckers in there like. When he asked who watched porn and asked everybody to raise their hands, there was like 6 people out of like the 80, 90 in the room that raised their hands. I'm like, you lying motherfuckers. You all do it. Some of you were doing it on the way here, just driving while watching the porn. And then like, oh, who in here eats ass? And like, I think it was like 3 or 4 motherfuckers raised their hand. I'm like, yo, all of your wives or the women that you're with right now were like, this lying ass motherfucker was eating my ass last night.
I will say, maybe this is TMI for the podcast, but I will say, never have. And it's more of like a hygienic.
I wouldn't say
thing.
that again.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm fine with saying it. Yeah, it's just I just can't. I can't. My brain can't get around it. That shit comes out of there.
Yeah,
and then
the other thing is,
it's like, why am I spending all this time avoiding
babies?
I'm gonna assume that you have not pondered about what comes out of a female vagina throughout the month.
No,
Yeah. It's a lot of discharge.
Yeah, no. You're
It's a
yeah.
lot of discharge.
Discharge is one thing, right? Which is just blood and like other shit that's in there, right? That's one thing, which I understand. I understand that this doesn't make much sense. I'm not trying to say that it makes a lot of sense, but there's just something that I can't like. Shit is just shit though. Like that's just, and obviously you're hoping that the person is cleaned up and yada yada enough that's not a concern.
Don't do it after she's come back from a long hike. Fucking ran a 10K.
She just got through eating a Subway tuna fish sip.
She's fucking lactose intolerant. She's drinking milk. I'm not gonna do that.
Holy shit. All right. I do want to answer this question about something that
So I'll tell you mine. You know what I love fucking sardines. I just get like the high quality, like premium, like the really good shit, not the cheap oily shit.
What do you get?
You don't like sardines?
Oh man,
I sound like a hater right now.
Yeah, see, like whenever I tell people this,
there's no such high quality.
I think no, because people have like I feel like it was this thing when we were kids. It's like, oh, you get sardines on your pizza, ew, right? Not that I ever really did, but it's just like it's anything else I would fucking eat. That's like as preposterous.
I've never had a pizza with sardines on it, but like I would because I eat sardines.
Yeah,
but like I like the like really nice like canned sardines that are like just like canned and then like sit in like olive oil and. It's just, I mean, healthy as fuck for you. The amount of like protein and like all the macros and shit that you get from like one small, it'll be like 35 grams of protein in like one small can.
Yeah.
And then you just eat one of those really quickly, you go to the gym, you're fucking set. You're good.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything that's like that I could say is definitely like I eat on a consistent basis that's like weird. I think maybe if I didn't feel like going to the store and there's just shit lying around the house, I might like put two things together that doesn't really.
You don't just eat like
sense.
A fucking onion by itself?
No, never.
No?
Yeah, that's
Do you
gross.
eat like ketchup and mustard by itself?
No. Oh, you know what I do?
Yeah, here we go. We're discovering it. This is a discovery phase.
I do. I am obsessed with what is it called? Hoisin sauce? Hoisin? What do you when you get pho? The sauce that they always give you with it.
I don't know. I don't get pho.
You know,
I hate the word.
What? How do you not? It's the most delicious food ever.
I'd rather just get ramen.
Ramen's what? You literally hurt my soul just now. Ramen
Yeah, I've had pho before. I was just like, huh, okay. Like,
just the flavors and the texture of the noodles and whatever.
I can say this. Everything you're gonna say for it, I say for ramen. It's the same shit. It's soup and noodles, and like stuff.
Hoisin sauce.
Hoisin. Yeah, that's what. I thought I was saying it right.
So what do you do?
It's nasty. What is wrong with you? First of all, what?
What do you do? You just put it on a teaspoon, or you just like dab it, or what do you do?
No. So usually whenever I'm that looks questionable.
True. Just play that
clip. No. So whenever I'm making something and I'm putting the sauce in it, I'll sneak a little teaspoon. A little tablespoon of it.
Like a whole tablespoon?
Just like a whole tablespoon.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
All right. Well, thanks for judging me afterwards, you asshole. I backed you up with this fucking sardine shit.
Mine's is healthy. Yours is weird.
How do you know? You don't know what's in there. There could be amino acids.
Chemicals.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What is that even? I don't know.
Amino acids. Just one or two of them. That's it. What about you, Addy?
Oh, man. I think since going vegan, it hasn't been anything weird.
Almonds.
Yeah.
What's wrong with almonds? I have almonds with everything.
Almond oil.
Now, the one thing, this might be just a, like a struggle meal kind of thing, but it was like my favorite meal ever. It was, my mom would make this homemade bread, right? And when it would start going hard, and you couldn't leave it out for too long, I would grab a bowl of milk, tear that stuff up,
dip it in,
and then put some sugar on top of it, and that was my my meal.
Hey,
People thought it was weird when I got here, but that was our struggle meal.
Wait. It was like, so you just like, you kind of like pick.
I would tear it up into little pieces, pop it into the milk, throw some sugar on top, and that was a meal.
Was it like, would you warm the milk up or would it be cold milk?
Or did it not matter?
I don't think it mattered.
Yeah.
It depended on where we are in the stage of our lives at that time. Did we have a microwave?
Yeah.
Could I
Do
microwave
you have the
it?
ability to? See, it's all about having the ability to do shit.
That's not the strange. And like, I feel like because we are all not, were you born here in the States?
Yeah, it's born in nation's capital.
Yeah, but we're not all like, I mean, we come from families that have like ethnic backgrounds outside of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So like the meals that I ate, the meals that you probably ate in your home as a kid and you had
vastly different.
Very
Yeah.
different.
Oh, absolutely. Because my mom would make pizzas, but we're not Italian, so like she did not know how to make a pizza, so she thought pepperonis were hot dogs. So you would get some ketchup, put it on top, some cheese, and then some diced up hot dogs, and that was our meal.
Yeah.
That's how we did.
Yeah, I mean, we ate porridge,
Struggle
right?
meals,
you come to
yeah.
America and people are like, wait, porridge? Isn't that for like the
But, like, think about, like-
Goldilocks? And like, no, it's a real thing.
Everything that I just like mentioned, and that's why I said it was a struggle meal. It's because milk is cheap, flour is cheap. You
Yeah.
can make a lot of bread with one, thing of flour. Sugar is cheap. Making your own pizza dough, it's cheap. Like that's just how we grew up, man.
You know what my relatable meal is, or it isn't even a meal, just like a little snack, is hot chocolate and bread. So,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You'd have hot chocolate. You dip the
Absolutely.
bread inside. You eat it. Oh my god! If it was potato bread, fuck it.
Yeah.
Forget about it.
I don't know why.
Oh my
people
God.
try to potato bread's the best bread. Like, what are
it's
we doing?
Terrible for you, right?
Well, actually, the Hawaiian bread.
Fucking delicious. Hawaiian, clearly made by the devil. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, come on, man. What are we doing with these carbs?
That
What the
Hawaiian
fuck?
bread is
Oh,
insane.
it's crack.
But then it's potato bread, and then I got to go with like a fucking like sourdough. Then it's like
No, sourdough's
white
nah.
bread. Then but people who like white bread is the best. I'm like,
Sourdough is just so like.
No, the
I like
people who
sourdough.
like
I
white
like
bread
good
are just the most basic people in the fucking
I'm like,
world, man.
I don't trust
No,
you.
white bread is safe. That's what I can say about white bread. You know what the fuck
It's
you're
also
getting
what
with white bread.
causes most people to have gluten and
Yeah, isn't that like the
sensitivities.
worst kind of bread,
sourdough?
too?
Like the whole world can eat because
Yeah.
it doesn't include certain chemicals and shit.
Yeah,
like
it
that,
doesn't.
but yeah.
Which one does or doesn't have yeast or something like that? Which is like one of the chemicals that causes you to like, which is in. I think it's not white bread. Maybe white bread does or doesn't.
I
have
think
yeast. I don't
feel
know.
like all bread has yeast.
I think there's like some breads
No?
have a different
Am
amount
I
of
wrong?
yeast, and then there's sugar
not all of
contents.
them do.
Not all do. I forget. I don't. I'm not a fucking.
How does
How does it
plenty of
rise?
times
Then?
without
What is it?
yeast.
What is it? What is it?
I mean,
what
it's
do
just
you-
not
what is
gonna
it
rise as
rising into?
much. That's all it is.
Yeah, you and your flat ass breads.
We can go. 'Cause I'm not a bread expert, but like my hierarchy of breads, not including the Hawaiian shit, just because that's like unfucking real.
God.
Would be like potato bread.
Oh my god! Did you used to go to church at all? Like your family? Anything
Occasionally.
like that? Okay, because it was like a thing like on Sundays where
With the Hawaiian bread?
church. Yeah, we do like go to church something like that, and then I don't know if we got it at the church or if we just got it on the way back.
So
from
we
the
go to
church.
Old Country Buffet after church. That was the only reason I went to church.
Yeah,
I listened to this motherfucker lie all for 2 hours.
Old country
Then
now.
I'm like, all right,
Old
let's go to
country now.
Don't you know that when Jesus broke bread, it was with Hawaiian
Oh my
bread?
god! It was.
Probably.
That's
wasn't
just
it?
what it was.
Oh my god!
It wasn't no white bread.
Yeah. First they gave him the white bread, and he was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" You saw how I turned the water into wine, right?
Yeah.
Changed this
He was like, y'all gonna disrespect
whack ass white
I
bread
just,
into Hawaiian
I just
bread.
saved all you motherfuckers. You gonna disrespect me with this white bread?
It is Denzel voice.
Famine.
It is oh.
Yeah. Oh, this is what y'all gonna
this
do?
is what
Okay.
y'all do? Okay.
It's gonna be some dark times
Okay.
ahead.
Okay, my man. That's how Jesus is talking. He's talking like Denzel Washington. All right, let's get on with the news of the day. Zach Galifianakis is going to join the live action Lilo and Stitch movie that's coming out. Eddie, are we still sounding the same? I feel like we might be a little low. Yeah,
Sound good to me.
sound good to you? Okay, I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I'll bump you up a bit.
Okay.
Love the idea here.
Yeah. I think it's because
When is
whenever-
this slated for release? Does it say?
This is going to be. No, it does not say when exactly we're going to get Lilo and Stitch, or at least maybe I have not read the article as thoroughly as one might in order to acquire this information.
Okay. Quick thoughts. Love Lilo and Stitch. It was a great cartoon.
Yeah.
They've had like a few like spin-offs and TV series and all that stuff, and I think there was like a second movie that came out. Love Lilo and Stitch. Great cartoon. Live action. This can go. It could either be fucking great or it could go really, really wrong because you're gonna have to like digitally animate Stitch, and like what happens whenever they take a cartoon, like a 2D cartoon, they try and like turn it into like a live action or 3D thing. it's very, very difficult to that's why animes turned to movies never work as well. That's why like Cowboy Bebop on Netflix wasn't as great. The Dragon Ball Z movies weren't as great. It's very difficult to capture.
Can I tell you why I think that those particular movies failed, along with any ones that are sort of in that same wheelhouse? I believe they failed because they didn't try to have their own character. They tried to mimic what was in the anime, like basically blow for blow, particularly with Cowboy Bebop, where they really did try to just carbon copy what was in the anime, instead of taking what the spirit of the anime was and making it its own thing. Because you're never going to be able to recreate what the anime was.
Yeah, you can't. It's too fantastical, it's too theatrical to try and like say, all right, we're gonna do that thing.
It's too stylistic.
Yeah,
like it's very particular. Now you can do something that's sort of like that has the spirit of it, but you can't just do the animated shit if you're gonna try to like redo it, you know.
And if you I've seen Lilo and Stitch recently. Obviously, I have a kid, so like. Yeah. I just know it's going to be a tough thing to create in live action. Zach Galifianakis, he seems like he'd probably be like a quirky, funny enough guy to like at least bring the comedy to it, because Lilo and Stitch is a really funny show.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm weary to see how it's all going to be like which studio does it, like who's a part of this project. You know what I mean? Like how strong is this team of people that's going to put this thing together?
Yeah. Yeah, I think, hold on. 1 sec. All right, let's see if that, nope, didn't do anything. Audio sounded a little crackly, but I just want to get off this one point before I try to adjust it again. I think if they have Zach Galifianakis play Stitch, I think that's amazing, because when I look at him, I think Stitch. Like, he just looks like Stitch.
But Stitch was a small, like 2 feet tall alien from outer space.
Yeah, I forget the size in terms of actual proportional size. I'm talking about just Zach Galifianakis. I don't know. Like, I immediately picture, oh yeah, that's like Stitch.
I think it's a nice thought, but like again, in practice, like let's say they actually put this thing out and Zach Galifianakis is playing Stitch.
Yeah,
I feel like people are gonna be like, it was a great thought, but like this is not the thing. This is not even close to what it originally was. Yeah. It's way too far of a departure for me to accept it. Nice thought. I'm hoping he's going to be a part of this film in like a different way. Maybe he's going to play like the dad or the uncle or like the space cop or something like that.
Yeah.
But not, you can't have a person play Stitch. It'd be like if they did the Sonic movie.
You could do like a live action person, but
Sonic, it was a live action Sonic movie. They still digitally animated Sonic, because you can't have.
Smeagol?
Yeah, I wouldn't have no motherfucker to show up in a blue shirt like I'm Sonic the Hedgehog. Like, I'm gonna shoot you in the chest right now.
So much in your voice. No, but I feel like they did it with like Andy Serkis and like Smeagol. You can have somebody in a suit play the.
If they did something along those lines, then but like, again, there's got to be some great animators behind it, some great like VFX people, and the story has to be good. Otherwise, it's going to be very stupid.
Fair enough. Hey, Addy, how's it sounding now? Still sounding weird?
Working on
it. But it still sounds weird, because I can.
It sounded a little bit better, but
okay,
a lot of noise.
All right, let me go to the next thing, and then we'll try to adjust on the fly here. Disney pushes back the Marvels. So of course, your favorite actress in the world, Brie Larson, her movie along with Miss Marvel, as well as I think it's was it Rambo or something like that from from WandaVision, Monica Rambeau, I think is her name.
Yeah. I don't. Fuck, what was her character? Was it Rambo? What was her character's name?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
All right, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Unless I can find different here.
So that got pushed back to November, right?
That did. It got pushed back to November.
No big deal there. I don't like, whenever a movie gets like delayed by a month or two, I think it's just a timing thing. Maybe there's like another thing coming out at that same studio or another studio, and they're like, hey, we don't want any conflict here. I never see any issues with that. So, like, when was it slated to release originally?
Yeah, this was originally slated to release. Can you even hear my mic now? I feel like it's
whatever you just did.
Yeah, correct.
It's not right.
It sounds right now.
It doesn't sound right.
Technology.
Got a lot of feedback now.
Okay. Yeah. So the reason why they're pushing this back is because they have another movie. I think it's called. I think it's Haunted Mansion, that's coming out. And they were either going to release this just after Guardians of the Galaxy, or push it back to like November, where it's got its sort of own area to like breathe. So they pushed this out, and then they moved up Haunted Mansion. Okay, let's take a look at a little quick break, and like let's try to figure this out. Yeah, go ahead and throw that up there, and then Go ahead and test it now.
Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3.
How does that sound to you?
Sounds good.
Test test. 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. How does that sound?
Good again.
10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1.
Much better.
Hold on 1 sec.
Nope. That's not it.
What do you? Okay.
A lot of feedback.
Okay.
All right, now it's gone again.
10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. Sounds fine.
Yep.
10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. I can't really hear that on my end though.
I might bump you up a bit.
Yeah, it's not that. It's the gain. So bring that down.
The gain.
No, the fader you're
Gotcha.
adjusting. Keep bringing it down. Okay. Ten nine eight 7 6 5 4 3 2 1. What did I even just say? I don't even know if I counted correct. How does it sound to
I
you?
think we can work with this.
Okay. But it doesn't sound great though.
That's good.
It's good. Arain, go ahead and test yours out.
Test 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4 5.
Okay. And Addy.
Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Sound good?
Go for it one more time, Addy.
Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. This is Addy.
All right, cool. All right. Okay. I think we're back. Oh my god, technology, man. What the fuck? All right. Let's get to the fucking goods. What are we watching? Right now.
You're gonna hate this, but I just figured out. So
Yeah.
like with my Xfinity fucking service, right? I get like Peacock, right? And I just
Yeah.
realized that Peacock has the challenge, like the MTV challenge and all that stuff on
Yeah.
it. Fucking love that show. Of all the reality shows,
Yeah.
that's
Why would
the
I
one
hate
I like
that?
the most.
Why would I hate it?
I don't know. You're not a big reality TV show guy.
This is true. But I'm not a hater. Like if reality TV is your thing, that's your thing.
Well, I mean, it's not my thing. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I don't listen to like the dance competition shows or the singing shows. Like, I don't listen.
A
Watch
certain flavor of reality TV is your thing.
I like it's got to be. It better be really, really fucking funny, which I think UK Love Island was. Right. That's why I liked it so much. Or it's got to have like a competition based nature, but like real competition, not like, oh, we're competing for like love and affection from this guy we just met. It's got to be like
Feelings, you.
yeah, it's got to be like we're a team of people, like
Yeah.
The Amazing Race or Survivor.
Yeah,
or
there's got to be
shit
like a
that.
goal you
Yeah.
know that you're reaching for.
You got to
It
win
can't just
something,
be-
and then there's got to be some backstabbing. You know, what I mean, like the good shit.
Fair enough.
So I'm watching that.
yeah.
Obviously, The Last of Us is fantastic.
Yeah.
Watching that too. There's a show on Amazon Prime with Chloe Grace Moretz called I think it's called the Perennial.
Yeah, you're talking about the one where she's like, it's like a futuristic kind of situation. Yeah,
Watching that,
Yeah.
like it's one of those shows where like you can like dip in and out of it.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Is it a weekly show? Does it come out weekly? Or
No, I
is
think
it-
I'm watching the whole first season.
Okay.
It's already
Oh,
out.
it's already out.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's one of those shows where I can like dip in, watch it, and like
Yeah.
I'm holy shit, this is great. But then there's some episodes where I can not pay much attention, but still follow along.
Yeah.
So it's a nice show that I'm watching, but it's also somewhat like background noise. At the end of the night, if I'm in bed and I'm like, all right, I just want to watch a show, maybe like 1 or 2 episodes, and then call it a night.
Yeah.
I'll put that on. Harlem, also on Amazon Prime with Megan Good.
Yeah.
It's like a
Sex in the City.
it's kind of like a Sex in the City,
with black women,
with black women type
Yeah.
thing. So those are and obviously anime, a lot of anime.
Yeah.
That's my shit. That's what
what
I'm
you're
watching
watching
right
right
now. Now that football season's over, now I
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
fill Sundays.
Ooh, now everybody's
So-
got to fill Sundays. Fuck.
Here's what I'm gonna try and do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and fill Sundays with at least like an hour or two of reading like every Sunday.
What are you trying to get into for reading? What is your book of choice?
So I have so the number one thing I'm trying to get into right now is more like design related books.
Okay.
Right? So books that are gonna just help me become a better, design strategist, designer, manager. So like kind of like those like career based self-help books, but also stuff that you could just apply to life in general. But then I also want to like mix in some like fantastical stuff and like some like murder mystery. So there's a Harlan Coben book I'm working on right now called The Associate. There's this book called Chasing the Lion. There's this book called Cheat Day too. It's just about like healthy eating and how to like trick your brain to like learn better ways of eating that feel like you're cheating, but you're actually like eating in a really healthy way. Yeah. So those are like the 4. And like I don't like to read
called
one.
MSG.
What was that?
It's called MSG. Just put MSG on anything that you eat, and it'll
so
taste infinitely better. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you eat.
But MSG is not the same as magnesium, right? Like, isn't MSG something different?
I forget exactly. It's like mono.
I think you can find a lot of MSG
monosodium
in like a lot of fish sauces and stuff like that.
No, you can literally find MSG in everything.
But those are like the 4 books that I'm going to try and substitute my Sundays with.
Yeah.
And like I'm a person who needs to like jump between books. I can't just fucking just sit and read the one.
Yeah.
Because I'll get bored. Like I've got the book.
Do you think that's
shitting.
a problem? That's a problem. That's become a very big problem for me. I think it's contributing to like I keep saying like I have ADD. I don't think it's that I have, or if I do, cool. But
yeah.
I don't think that I don't think it's a problem that I can't overcome. But what it is I feel like I've trained my brain to just keep flipping channels. Like, okay, I start this, switch to that. I start that, switch to this. Like, and over the years, I've just become so accustomed to that I'll do that for everything. If I walk into a room and I have a thing that I need to get in that room, I'll do 5 other things and won't even get to the thing that I came into the room for. Oh my God,
I hate that.
And so I'm trying to retrain my brain to only focus on one thing at one time.
Yeah.
And it seems counterintuitive because I think the way our world works is like you need to be able to multitask, do this while you're doing that in order to maximize efficiency.
Yeah.
But I think
all words that we just created, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
it
maximize efficiency, multitasking,
but it does the opposite,
synergize.
Right? Like it does the opposite. Like instead of maximizing
really
efficiency, you just never finish the one task that you're trying to actually do. You end up doing 4 tasks very mediocrely.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just focusing on the one. So I've just noticed that in myself is that I'm you know, when it comes to like reading and really sitting down and I think that reading is the ultimate test of this, because I think that because we're so used to being on our smartphones and we could just, I'm bored with this article or I'm bored with this video, whatever, switch to the next thing,
scroll,
keep going.
Scroll.
With a book, it's just like, well, I can't just jump paragraphs, right? I just missed the entire thing, right? So you have to slow down and be able to appreciate all those like little things. And so that's why I've kind of rededicated myself to, and I love listening to like audiobooks, and that's what I've done for the longest, but now I'm actively trying to just get back into it. Like,
there's something nice about turning the page.
Yeah.
You know, and like actually like finishing a book and being able to put the book down and be like, I finished that book.
Yeah.
It does feel a little bit better than like I finished that podcast or I finished that audiobook.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and fill Sundays with not just like hours of mindless scrolling on Instagram or just like
for
or
September
more
to get
TV.
here.
Yeah. I'm going to try and like, all right, I'm going to at least like dedicate like 2 hours to cleaning. Like, Sundays is a day that I clean the house anyway. So clean, read for like 2, you know, or maybe I just say, hey, you know what, like 3 chapters a day or 2 or 3 chapters a day. I think that's a fair amount.
20
of
pages. I was listening to, what was his name? Patrick Bet David, PBD. He has a podcast.
Yeah.
He's like this really rich dude out in, I think, Miami or some shit like that.
He says 20 pages a day.
Well, he said that's what he does for his kids. Is that for his kids, he's like, if you don't read 20 pages a day, then you don't get allowance, you don't get whatever. You just, you know, you're dead to me. Basically.
I don't know if I can do what Warren Buffett does. Warren Buffett's like reads 6 hours a day, like first thing in the morning, like 6 hours.
There's no way Warren Buffett. At least he's not reading a fucking book 6 hours a day. He might read.
Yeah,
like
I think he like
18
reads different things like newspapers and books and blah blah blah.
That's half
Very
your
difficult.
fucking day. What are we doing? I got kids are like, yo, we haven't had lunch yet.
Fucking kids. Well, they're rich enough. Tell one of the nannies, one of the many, to do whatever you need them to do. I haven't seen you in fucking 3 years anyway. Are you my kid?
You've grown.
You've gotten big. Like, it's been 7 years.
They've just been in the other side of the house.
On the other side of the estate.
Okay. Those are all dope things, man. And I can appreciate all that you're watching and getting into. I've only watched like a couple of new things. They both were documentaries, and both actually I think just literally like yesterday. Both were documentaries on Netflix. And I guess documentaries, but like I don't know. Sometimes I struggle with the definition of like what actually counts as a documentary and what is just like an expose on any given topic, right? But I watched Get Smart with Money, which I don't know if it was that.
That's on my to watch list. Yeah, I know. I'm familiar with it.
It wasn't. I don't know if it was that informative so much as it was just like okay, I got some things I got to work on. Not that I didn't know or was aware of anything that they put there.
Yeah,
but it's just like it was a reminder, like, okay, you got to figure some things out when it comes to these certain things, right?
Yeah.
Like they were talking about like retirement age and all that other stuff of just like, okay, you could fucking retire if you wanted to, like mad early. It's just we're choosing to spend our money in other ways. And what it really actually highlighted for me was like they didn't have like any truly like poor people on there. It was just like people who like might have been working 2 jobs and, you know, weren't quite making as much or doing the thing that they wanted to do. But I feel like they kind of skimped it when it came to people who truly don't have any like resources.
Yeah, I didn't come here to feel bad. I came here to learn something.
Fair enough. But
the pores in the other documentary.
But it's just like one of those things of just like, you know, they made it seem like, oh, like you just cut back on your spending, and it's like, but if you make $7.50 an hour, or I don't know if that's like the actual national. What is the actual national minimum wage? It's like 7 something, right? Or is it 10 something?
No, I thought it went up to like $12 an hour.
Nah, I don't know if it's 12. National.
It is. Whoa, that's loud.
$12.50.
Yeah, $12.50.
$12.50.
That's 2022 versus 2023 national minimum wage. $12.50.
Either way, with inflation, that $12.50 is worth absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Maryland minimum wage is $13.25.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'd rather sell drugs. God, listen.
Apparently, a lot of people are on your same side of the fence.
Yeah, you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
When you Google actual living wage, it gives you a living wage, a minimum wage, and a poverty wage. And a living wage, 1 adult, no children, average, just, you know, it might actually be for Maryland. Yeah, it's for Maryland. $19.61.
Yeah.
Poverty wage, $6.53. Minimum wage, $13.25.
So minimum wage is below the
living wage.
Living wage.
Living wage, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's why people are trying to fight to raise the minimum
And this
wage.
is coming from MIT.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I actually goes to my point of just like you can't really make something out of nothing, right? Like it's not until you actually get like a little bit of money at least that you're like, okay, I can start doing that. Before then, you can try to like do savings and things like that. But the problem is that you're so far behind with everything, you know, with inflation and all this stuff. You're not able to do even the bare minimum, right? So like even just buying groceries, rent, whatever the case is, you're not even able to do those things. So you can't think about retirement, you can't think about saving, you can't think about, you know, oh, I need to cut back. Like I'm already eating milk and bread, sugar, meals. I don't know how much further I can cut back here, you know? So I feel like it kind of skimped out on that end of the spectrum, right?
Yeah, but that's also probably not what the show was for, right? Just to talk about like poverty and like how people who are poor. It's probably talk about, hey, like if you're fortunate enough to be in a position to save and invest and blah blah blah, here's how you can do it. Right?
That's fair, but. Yeah, and I guess if you're watching it on Netflix, I guess
you
do.
If you're living,
well, I guess you're probably the last remnants of sharing, you know, passwords and shit.
Hopefully,
so
yeah. But like also, if you're like struggling with money, maybe just sitting at home on the couch watching the show on Netflix is not what you should be doing.
But I still reject even that idea though. Right?
No, I mean
because
it's very true.
Still,
you still need to learn about money, even if you're poor, to learn how to get yourself out of poverty.
Or I guess the point that I'm trying to make is like, even if you are like, you know, you're working 2 jobs and you're still like, you're basically making minimum wage at both jobs, right? And you have Netflix. It's like, who the fuck are we to be like, maybe you got to cut back on that Netflix? Like, it's the one fucking thing I get to enjoy.
Know, man.
From the 13 hours I work straight. Huh?
I feel like you should be getting more sleep.
I mean, no, but I'm saying like, we all want some semblance of like a normal fucking life, right? And if watching Netflix is that thing, is just like, who the fuck are we to be like, no, I feel like we should just pay people more, like generally pay people more. And I understand fucking economics, yada, yada. But in our vast society, we can, afford to pay people more money than we are now.
Yeah. Also, rent doesn't have to go up $300 every year.
Fucking year, right? Yeah. And so, as these corporations, anyways, this is gonna trail off into a conversation.
But anyway, I do have that on my list. I'm gonna watch that for sure.
Yeah, it's really interesting thing. I don't know if it was necessarily anything that was like revolutionary, but it was.
What was the number one thing you learned?
The number one thing I learned is that money is just a mindset. That's, I think, that and when I say I learned it, I didn't really like, it was just a reaffirmation that that's fucking true. Like because I have a habit of like, okay, from month to month, I've got my different accounts set up and money goes to different places, yada yada, and I get used to thinking like, oh, okay, I'm working within these constraints, so this is what life looks like. But in reality, it's like, well, that's what I've created for myself. That's all of this is changed. I can change any dynamic I want. So if I want to save more, I can. If I want to spend more, I can. If I want, nothing's forcing me to do anything. And so at the end of every month, I look back like, fuck, God damn, I spent a lot of money this past month. Just like, yeah, because I spent more money. Like there was nothing forcing me to spend all that money. Yeah. Like emergencies and shit like that. Like, so for instance, I got I got to take the dogs to the vet coming up this week, and I completely forgot. And I'm like, fuck, that's an expense,
that,
right?
Expense, yeah.
That's like a little in betweener where it's just like, do I have to do this? Not really, but I definitely should, right? But anyways, I think that's the number one thing that I learned from it is, or that it reminded me of, is that money is a mindset. So if you do want to save, if you do want to do all these things, if you have the resource, it's a thought away. It's not. Yeah.
I think the number one thing that I've learned recently, and then we can move on to the next thing, is like, I know I'm bad at saving money. So I don't ever, like, my savings account is really just my saving to do fun shit, right? Like, it's not like I'm actually saving this money for my life. Like, no, that's why you invest in real estate and like life insurance policies and things like that. So what I had to learn was that I'm bad at saving money, but I'm good at like finding ways to put money aside before I even touch it, right? So I have 401k, max that shit out. My Roth IRA, max that shit out. It comes out automatically. My insurance, that shit comes out of my paycheck automatically. So like automatically, I'm putting like $1,500 a month away in like different places.
Right.
So I don't really have to save, because if I ever need the money, I just pull it from wherever the fuck I put it.
Yeah.
So that I don't feel bad about not having a shit ton of money in my savings account, because it's going
to the place.
Yeah, my savings account grows like 1% a year. My 401k grew 7 or 8% year to date.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think that's the new frontier for me is like how to make money work for me when I'm not.
And like when you have an IRA or insurance policy, you're borrowing from yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So if I take the money out, I'd put a little bit back each month.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Anyways, we can go into a whole thing about that. But the other thing that I watched was another documentary again. I guess well, this would actually, I think, be a more classical documentary, is A Trip to Infinity, which it basically talked about the idea of infinity, and it's just a bunch of scientists and the lot talking about the concept of infinity, and I was high afterwards because I smoked afterwards, but if I had been
so wait,
no,
smoke
if I had been high during it, that would have been terrifying. It would have been terrifying.
See, I get high and I watch shit like that and I just laugh. I'm like, these motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about.
No, but that's actually kind of what their point was, is that we don't know.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're, but with how they talk about it, there's a part of it that can be terrifying, right? So the idea that like, what we want, how we want to see the world, or how we want to see like the universe, is we wish we were like if you're holding like a marble, right, and think about like a some sort of microscopic germ or whatever, right, that's like really small. To that germ or whatever, that sphere that you're holding is an infinite. There's just, it's infinite, right?
Yeah.
To that germ, and I'm sure I'm getting the terms mixed up here, but that's how we are when it comes to the universe, right? Is that to us it seems infinite, but if you had something that can be on a different dimension that can look at it differently, it'll be like, oh, this is just a fucking like little marble or whatever, Like I always think back to the Men in Black scene at the end of Men in Black, the original, where it's just
playing
they're playing like
marbles,
jacks or
yeah.
whatever the fuck it was. And I remember seeing
With
that
our
first,
universe?
with our universe,
Like,
and I,
chill
you
out,
son of a
motherfucker.
bitch. I remember first watching that. It's such a strange idea, but then you see like, oh, this actually is a scientific theory. That
I love that there are people who care about those types of things.
Yeah.
So I don't have to. Because I know I don't know, and I know I probably never will. And I also don't care, how big the universe is or how small it is, or what if time is really infinite.
Well, so the question I would
got
ask
40 more years, 50 more years, I hope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
So one of the guys was like, I don't really, idea of an infinity is not like that big of a deal. But then I think, well, I want to be dead forever. Like, doesn't that trip you out? Like, of just like it trips me out in the sense that like like our life here is so small in comparison to everything that came before us and everything that will come after us, and yet we're here right now living through time, and everything seems like it matters so much, but in reality it's like none of this means jack shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and then if nothing matters, that means everything matters. So like that means the things you do on a daily basis matter. So like the only thing that really matters to me, I just want to be happy and healthy and see my kid grow up and like do shit and fucking see my team win.
have you ever
the
thought
Super
about
Bowl.
why though?
I could spend all day thinking about why.
Yeah, that makes me
That doesn't
curious.
matter either.
But it does matter though, right? Like if,
why I want the things that I want.
yeah, like so for instance,
Because they make me happy, and that's it.
yeah. The quote from one of my favorite shows is, if nothing that we do matters, all that matters is what we do. And I might have quoted on this podcast before. It's from Angel, by the way. So when I think of that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me, right? Like if nothing that we do matters, all that matters then is what we do. But isn't it curious why, like what emphasis we place on certain things or not? So for instance, you said, I just want to, grow up, see, you want to see your daughter grow up to be healthy, happy, and all these things. You want to see your team win, and the Rams
Bad
winning
bitches and take nice vacations, drive a nice car, live in a nice house.
Yeah, but why? Like what is like? Cause,
All those things make me happy, and I feel like if you live a life and like, because the number one thing in life, not about making other people happy, because you cannot make other people happy if you are not personally happy. So you need to find a way to seek personal joy and fulfillment, but not in materialistic ways, right? So it's like, here's
you just said I want to fuck bitches and drive cars.
yeah, they're not materials; those are human beings. They just look the way I want them to look.
They just have materials.
You see how I rationalized that?
I did. Yeah. You did that very well.
And so anyway, like I just find personal happiness, and like, but don't put a lot. There's so many people who put the fucking weight of the world and the universe on their shoulders. Like I got to figure out the meaning of everything, and no, you don't. Figure out you. Figure out the people around you.
But I think we're saying I'm saying the thing you think you're saying. I don't know what you're actually saying though, because what I'm saying is trying to figure yourself out, right? Like that's to me like what makes me do the things I do. Why does
that's the greatest mystery in the universe is
why do I like eating hoisin sauce, like still a little teaspoon. I don't it just tastes really good to me, but other people are like, ugh, gross, right? Like why
Yeah.
what
I want to know myself as well as my Instagram algorithm knows me. That's the level of deepness and insight that I want to
That's
find.
a lot of deepness.
I be scrolling like, damn, you know what? Like, cause I scroll, I'm like, damn, I do like that car.
Yeah.
I do want to get that car. Damn, that bitch is fat ass. I do like that ass. Stock tips. Damn, I do need to buy these stocks.
Yeah.
Ooh, something about life insurance, investing in different policies. I need to do that too.
So
these motherfuckers know me.
You joke, but that's actually really fucking true because the algorithms know us in some ways better than we know ourselves, right? In terms of like what you stop and you
how much time you spend looking at the thing.
So they have like a lot more insight into us than I think we actually consciously do, know about ourselves. But anyways, I watched A Trip to Infinity. It was really fucking dope. Just really interesting, man. There's like, when it comes to philosophy or these scientific theories, man, I'm infinitely like curious, not curious enough to actually like make this something that, is like my mission in life, but just curious as in like the world. it's such a fucking weird. Consciousness is like a weird thing, right? Like I look at my dog sometimes, it's like, damn,
we're both alive at the same time, but
but
different,
in very different ways,
yeah.
you know. Like, and it's just, I don't know. It's just, yeah.
Who's
it's really
winning? The
weird,
dog's like, yo, you got to take care of me. We got that doctor's visit coming up, don't we?
Where's that credit card? You got that card?
Get your wallet? You got it?
You got paid this week?
Give me a biscuit.
Give me a biscuit. Okay, all right. So that's what we're watching right now. What are you watching right now, Eddie? Are you watching anything?
Yeah. I'm still making my way through with the family Prison Break.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like it. It's good. Season 4 of
R.
Servant.
Kelly should have watched that.
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't. Yeah, I want that dude to save him from prison. Just keep him in
He might be in prison
Yeah.
forever. He's never gonna get out.
We'll see. But I'm watching season 4 of Servant on Apple TV. That's
Still gotta watch
fantastic.
that,
yeah.
Man, it's creepy. It's right, man.
Really?
It's definitely M. Night Shyamalan's best stuff.
Okay.
How
Even though-
involved is he with the show?
But not a lot, and I was about to get to that point. The name kind of just gets thrown onto it.
Yeah.
You guys remember during the Super Bowl, the commercials? You had that weird rabbit going down the rabbit hole for Tubi, the app.
Yeah. Well,
So I've been
yeah.
on Tubi for like far longer than whatever they were trying to peddle in those commercials, and I've been down that rabbit hole, especially recently, watching some weird shit. I watched this movie called The Lover from like 1992. Very interesting movie. Something about a Chinese man, adult man, getting with like this 15-year-old French girl. It was like some sort of semi-autobiographical, film. I watched this movie called, this was fucked up, Open My Heart with Willem Dafoe's wife. One of her first things that she did, she directed, she wrote it, about a incestuous relationship between her and her older sister, who was a prostitute, but they were a couple together. And yeah, it was a little fucked up, but...
The fuck?
Yeah. For Fox claiming they're all about the children, they got some
Yeah.
rabbit hole shit that you never
that's-
want to watch.
I hear Tubi's a dark place.
It can
No,
be.
it's a
It
great
can
place,
be.
dude. I used to like. I remember watching. Like, I just stopped by TV one day to watch. It was Double Impact. It was just randomly on.
yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yo,
yeah,
love
let's
Double
get it.
Impact.
Like-
You can't go
Yes.
wrong.
You want 80s, 90s movies,
Oh,
it's on Tubi.
get it. Yeah.
But
Shit.
man, like Tubi is what Netflix used to be when Netflix just came out, when they had to like
Just weird-
independent stuff, micro budget films,
Yeah.
stuff that like I love watching that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
I-
watching a lot of just on the Tubi mix that they have. For some reason, it's been a lot of LGBTQ plus stuff recently. So I'm just following down a rabbit hole. Some shit is just terrible. Some stuff is really good. The Lover and Open My Heart, while they were fucked up movies, it was good.
It was good? Okay.
It was still good.
I gotta play around with some Tubi shit.
Yeah, just like anything else. It can be a dark place, but also it's whatever you make it. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so you're gonna watch some shit on there. I like it because it's kind of a throwback to just watching TV. Like, instead of like being able to direct wherever you want to watch, wherever, like, you just let me scroll Tubi to see what the fuck's on right now. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's just some random weird shit. And you're just like, hey, like, do you remember like Saturday afternoons? You would turn on WB or whatever the case is. And there's
It's
always
the
some
WB.
Hey,
The frog.
I'm super racist. All hail Hitler. It's like, whoa, chill, frog. What are you doing? But you would just turn it on. There would be like some random shit there, and they still kind of do that with Fox to some degree. But like, you'll just turn it on. There'll be some random shit on there, and then like 20 minutes into, you're like, why the fuck am I still watching this? I don't know, but let's ride it out. Like,
Yeah.
you know. And I think that's what Tubi is like just a whole bunch of like old random shit that you've either heard about, watched, or have never heard about at all. But there'll be some like B level movie that's on there that it's just like kind of like Addy was saying, which was like you watching it, you're just like, this is super fucking weird, but also I'm kind of into it. you know?
Yeah. If you've ever wondered what Steven Seagal is doing,
Yeah, just watch Tubi.
he might
yeah,
have
for
a
sure.
brand new movie.
Oh
2023
my God.
came
Yo,
out last
watching-
week on Tubi.
Just watching any of his, like, even some of his older
Yo,
shit.
Mark
just-
for Death. That's one of my favorite.
No, my
Steven
favorite is
Seagal.
always Above the Law.
Above the Law.
Above the
was
Law.
good too.
He had like a trio of classics. It's Above the Law, Mark for Death, and Out for Justice. I think were his just trio. You can't fuck with him, right? But watching anything like even Under Siege to a certain degree. It's just watching fat Steven Seagal just walk through and just wave his arms
in a black leather coat, just in the middle of the summer,
goggles on for no discernible reason. Yeah. It's he's wearing shades. He's in a nightclub. What are you doing?
Speaking very softly to everybody too. Yeah, I remember I was watching a movie where they were like, I think it was like one of those like scenes where they're in like a nightclub. It was like a strip club or whatever. Yeah. Before he like beats everybody up and throws motherfuckers across the bar. Yeah. He's just in there speaking really softly. I'm like, bro, like the music is not as fun. He's like, just tell me where the girl is, where the drugs. Where are they bringing it in?
I can't hear it. And then all of a sudden he just starts chopping it.
Yeah, like, that's why he got into so many fights, because people couldn't hear the guy. And then they're like, all right, dude.
A failure to communicate.
Yeah, you just start chopping people. This is a miscommunicate. All of his movies were just miscommunications.
Yeah,
that's it.
Hey,
for sure.
It's pretty great about his movies when you Google his name and it pulls up some movies. Above the Law and Hard to Kill.
Oh, Hard to Kill. I'm sorry. That's my favorite Steven Seagal
Same exact theatrical cover. Just a photo, black background of him holding a gun. Yeah, same exact one, just the title changed.
What do you need? What do you need?
Yeah, what you need it for? Yeah, you got Steven Seagal. That's all you need.
What are we doing? Yeah, just recycle the same one. You just save on marketing materials. Yeah, we're good to go. Yeah.
Yo, you're fucking. I had to do it for myself. I'm like, holy shit. One came out in 1988, the other is 1990. It's the same photo.
Yeah.
Just different texture.
Yeah.
Whoa, these guys did not fucking try. I mean, both movies are great.
No, but even the movies themselves aren't really that different, right? Somebody does something wrong, Steven Seagal chases after them. He, beats up about 8,000 henchmen until he reaches, the head honcho. Just like any other 80s movie. Like, why are we trying to pretend like any of these are any different?
And for a fact that they recycled some scenes from Above the Law that they didn't end up using and just threw it into
you're like, Steven, why did your hair grow about 9 inches between takes? Which
is the one where he was fighting the Jamaicans?
Above the Law.
It was Above the Law?
I believe so, yeah.
I might watch that tonight.
Yeah. I'd let no man fear for their life.
Actually, it was Marked for Death.
Marked for Death? Oh, yeah, that was that was the one. Yeah, because they start getting into like some voodoo shit. And I just remember that movie, Screwface. And he had like the
your blood clot. I remember being a kid, like, yo, we got it.
Oh my God.
You're in luck because they're both on Tubi.
Go Tubi.
Bro, that's the move tonight.
Yeah, Tubi's the new hottest stream. It's not even new, but it's old as fuck. But it's the hottest streaming service. Fuck Netflix. Fuck, Amazon Prime, Apple TV. No, fucking Tubi is taking over with the 80s flicks. And to be able to like watch, do we have to, I've never had a subscription to Tubi. Do you have to have a subscription in order to watch
completely
the
free.
Yeah.
Which is why I fuck with
What is their business model, dude? How do they make money? Advertisers?
It's ads, yeah.
Because they have the ads like built in, right? Like if you're watching like Peacock.
And Fox recently bought it from the original guy. He ended up just like coming up with a bunch of money from a bunch of investors, and then he ended up selling it to Fox.
Yeah.
While still retaining all the like creative rights to like how to do everything. I just want to say, man, Marked for Death, the description of the tagline: after his partner dies, a DEA agent returns to his hometown where Jamaican drug lords, led by a black magic high priest, have infiltrated the town. I mean,
that sounds pretty racist. That's pretty mega racist. Yeah. Looking back on it,
fuck it. At the time, I still really liked it. So nostalgia, I'm gonna be nostalgic.
Nostalgia is a motherfucker, dude. Because even if you know some shit's like blatantly fucked up, you'll still be like, still watching it.
Still gonna watch it. There was an old movie I saw not too long ago. It was a Wesley Snipes movie. I think it was called like Jungle Fever. That whole movie
that's problematic. I think that's the word that they would use for that and Boomerang. Problematic.
Yeah, Boomerang was like problematic. A lot of like, what is it called? Patriarchy, misogynist views and whatnot. Oh my God. And like the movie with Wesley Snipes, I think it was called Jungle Fever. It was like just highly, highly racially and like culturally just fucking like, it was a lot of it was in your face, like, yo, black dude. Basically, he was a black man having sex with a white woman. Remember the cops pulled up on him?
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, this shit doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Get your ass on the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was directed and written by Spike Lee.
yeah. Well, I was going to mention another Spike Lee movie, Do the Right Thing. I've seen that on a number of occasions more recently, and that's another movie where Spike Lee. I'm not sure if he gets his flowers, dude.
No,
I'm not sure.
he doesn't.
Now, to be fair, some of his later movies, not the best. I don't know if they were the best. But Spike in the 90s, I'm not sure if he missed.
He had his fucking finger on the pulse. He knew what he was doing.
Between Do the Right Thing, Jungle Fever, School Days, fucking He Got Game, Malcolm X, like all of these movies.
Yeah.
He couldn't miss for a while, dude. Like right up until like the end of the 90s, and I think that was He Got Game was like his last movie in the 90s that I can remember. It was like, okay, this shit slapped, because I think that came out in like 99. And then once we hit the 2000s, it started to get a little weird. Although he did do, was it Inside Man?
I did like Inside Man with Denzel.
Yeah,
and Clive
that was
Owen.
pretty fire.
That was really good. Yeah.
But
He did the Black Klansman too.
But that was like late, like more of his one or more current. But like I remember in the 2000s, I was just like, it's like I don't know about any of these choices.
He did Love and Basketball.
No,
that was 2000.
He did not do Love and Basketball.
Yeah, he did.
No, he must have just been a producer on that. He didn't direct it.
He didn't direct Love and Basketball.
He did not.
No,
No, that incorrect. Where are you getting this
I
information?
have to look that one up.
Yeah.
Produced by Spike Lee.
Yeah, he definitely didn't direct it. But yeah, I just remember watching a lot of his movies. Like I remember watching one movie. I think it was like a vampire movie or something like that he did. It was like called The Blood something. Not the Five Bloods. That's not what it was. It was like something. It was like a weird. It was just so fucking the Sweet Blood of Jesus. Weird. Fucking maybe I need to go back and watch it because it's been a while since I've seen it. But I remember first watching
shit
it
like that from Spike Lee.
What the fuck is happening in this movie? It's just such a weird movie. So I think that was his like Twilight response. Is like, well, it's Twilight, but with black people. No, it was definitely more than that. But it was just a weird fucking movie. But I just remember a lot of those type of things where it's just like. Spike, I don't know what you were going for here, dude.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely gonna be some misses, but I feel like we all know Spike Lee. Most of them he hits on.
We got to rate
some
Spike.
of his early shit. He hit a lot
Who
more.
do we put Spike above? Scorsese. I can't do it. Scorsese's got to go.
Scorsese.
Spielberg.
I would put Spike above Spielberg. I like Spielberg shit.
I think numbers wise, I don't know if that's a comparison. But I think
Spielberg always has a bigger
wise,
budget, but Spike Lee probably put out things that are. But also,
Spielberg. What I'm saying is makes his money back though.
Yeah,
like he's made. Box office wise, I can guarantee you Spielberg has made infinitely more than Spike. But I say I like Spike's movies. I feel like I can interact with Spike Lee's movies, even with Spielberg's catalog. That is just like this is an unexpected Spielberg movie. Like so, for instance, Color Purple. I still fuck with Spike over Spielberg. Like I feel like it's not even really that close because Spielberg does a lot of shit that I'm just like, this is stupid. E.T. I think is one of the dumbest movies. I fucking hate E.T. I've never been on like a rant about E.T. I must have at some point in time gone on a rant.
Yeah, I think we both agree. Like for the most part, I don't think it's like that. Like fucking, oh my god, it's one of the greatest movies.
I fucking hate it. I hate E.T. Anyways, okay, so
Fun
not
fact.
Spielberg. Yeah,
Just so you know.
yeah,
Spielberg is over 10 billion
yeah. At the box office.
and Spike is just a little over $500 million.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't doubt
Caesar.
at all.
The rank is number 302.
Yeah, but I'm not going by numbers. This is what I'm trying to say is because it's like if you do that, then Spielberg crushes them. But like when I go to like movies that I like have something to say other than just like I don't know, I have like daddy issues or something like that. Yeah. Like I feel like, and not to trivialize all of Spielberg's movies, but Spielberg seems to be. A lot of his movies seem to be a little bit like one-noter type of situations where I feel like Spike. I guess you could make an argument. Sometimes he might be like during
his are more like than a cultural.
But I feel like you can
films?
maybe call that one like a one note. But I feel like they're just I can grapple with those a lot more than I can.
Yeah, because I mean like Spielberg, James Cameron, like they're just gonna have like. Also, they're working with different budgets than Spike Lee was ever able to work with to tell the stories that.
But I would argue that I actually liked that about Spike in terms of just like I feel like he told more stories from the gut because that's all he really had. Like,
yeah, I mean, once you get like let's say you get a $500 million movie budget, then you're gonna be like, we can get crazy with this thing. But if you're working on a better budget, a smaller budget, then you just have to tell a better story.
Yeah. Yeah, like when I go back and think about like Jurassic Park, right? Amazing theatrical feats that were achieved in Jurassic Park, but I'm not really, personally speaking, I'm not really checking for Jurassic Park. When I go back to like think about a movie, I really want to like watch or whatever.
I watch Jurassic Park if it's on, but somebody's like, "Yo, movie night. I'm Jurassic Park. Are you coming over, Rain? I got something to do.
I'm gonna be tied up.
I'm
gonna be watching Tubi. Steven Seagal.
Let me finally check out this Tubi shit Addie was telling me about.
All right, one or two more, and then we'll move on. Who else would we compare to Spike? Who's from that time era? Let's think about.
I don't know. This is really gonna stretch my.
Let me think about directors from that era. Come on, Addie, help me out. Who else is from that era? You got Scorsese.
I mean, you've got some people who kind of like not necessarily fell off, but just haven't done a whole lot, like Joel and Ethan Coen.
Yeah, The Big Lebowski, Fargo.
Like I said,
good
not
comparison.
Fell off, but
No, they
just haven't really done a whole lot.
I wouldn't say that they fell off.
Here's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck these Joel and Ethan Coen guys are, but
What?
Spike Lee.
You do.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure I do, but I don't really give a fuck about him.
Okay.
Spike Lee or Quentin Tarantino?
Spike.
agreed.
Quentin Tarantino, Jackie Brown from Dusk Till Dawn, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir
say Spike.
Dogs. You still say Spike?
I think a movie, I guess, or cinephiles or movie critics, I think that they would say Quentin Tarantino, and it's probably not close to them.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, again, I can when it comes to Quentin Tarantino movies, I might just be stupid, right? And that's a plausible, situation here. I don't know what the fuck the point to his movies are. I watch Jackie Brown, Pulp Fiction. What the fuck's the point to Pulp Fiction? Literally, what's the central idea there?
The Django Unchained or Django Unchained.
I mean, even Django, you can kind of get like what the. I'm not even sure if you can really understand exactly what the fuck the point
Kill Bill. What was?
I mean, I feel like you can like so for instance like for Kill Bill, right, you're talking about, and I might be wrong about this, maybe I'm not looking at it from the correct analytical standpoint, but like it's about how vengeance can like drive people and how far it will inspire people when you feel like you've got a debt you've got to repay somebody, right? But like I don't like when I watch his movies, I feel like there are a lot of style. It's stylized clearly, but I find myself wanting like, I don't know, more substance. And again, I might be, there might be people out there who'd be like, you're a fucking idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. I just go by how I feel when I watch the movie, just like, shot for shot, scene for scene, and then when I walk away from the movie, how it makes me feel. Yeah. And I walk away from Quentin Tarantino movies like, he did a lot of cool things in that movie. Couldn't tell you what the fuck I watched, but
it was exciting. It was fun to watch.
It was an interesting dialogue.
I like Kill Bill. I watched Kill Bill again, but like, what is if there's a meaning there in the 4 or 5 times I've seen it? I haven't gotten it. Anyway, let's keep moving forward because there are 2 trailers I want to get to.
Okay,
and I do want to get to the Ant-Man conversation.
We have some time,
some time shit here.
Yeah, I'm with it. All right, let's jump to our first trailer then. I know one that was it Baba Yaga?
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. John Wick Chapter 4. How the fuck did we make it 4 movies? Holy shit.
I hope we get another one. I haven't even seen this one yet, but like, let's keep going.
This is approaching Fast and Furious levels of just.
I want to see John Wick meet Toretto. It'll be a short movie.
Will it be a short movie or will we just be
but you know what? Fucking Toretto probably would have like he'd fight John Wick and somehow win.
He's Superman.
Yeah.
Somehow Toretto would, unless you have some fucking a kryptonite steering wheel, I feel like he's going to come out on top.
This guy from East LA who's just managed to
cars.
Managed to beat up some of the world's most formidable like super assassins and shit. It's like there's no fucking way. But anyway,
he has a tire iron. That's all he needs.
Yeah, that's it.
So John Wick uncovers a path to defeating the High Table. But before he can earn his freedom, Wick must face off against a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that turn old friends into foes. This is directed by Chad Stileski. I think I pronounced his name right. Sorry, Chad, if I didn't. Written by Shay Hatton, Michael Finch, and based off of characters created by Derek Kolstad. This stars, of course, the incomparable Keanu Reeves, Donnie Yen, Bill Skarsgård, Lawrence Fishburne, among others, and is due out March 24th, right around the corner.
Can't wait.
This hasn't really been marketed that much. I haven't really seen too much outside of
I've
these
seen
trailers.
a lot of marketing for it.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I haven't. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, we got different timelines. Yeah, on our seeing a lot of different things. With that all being said, I think we'll go ahead and check out this trailer. John Wick 4.
This hit goes out to you, Mr. Wick.
Oh shit! Got the Nas.
Yeah. And so it begins.
Living in this time behind enemy lines, so I got mine. I hope you.
What the fuck is this, Constantine?
Single combat.
If you win,
We got that coming too.
you'll have your freedom.
And when I see you, I want to take what I want. So
Oh god damn!
Man.
you ain't real, hope y'all feel the wrath of the killer. Many try, many die. If you want to war, get it bloody.
God damn! This is so violent.
Step up on your ego. Come on.
The only way John Wick will ever have freedom and peace is in death.
Yeah. Not really.
Oh, you gotta love it. God damn!
Fucking can't wait. Oh my god.
Such mindless.
Love it. It's the way of the world.
Is it,
senseless violence and nice suits?
Christ. Yeah. What more do we say about that? That's just everything that you could possibly want out of a John or expect out of a John.
Football
Wick.
season's over. I need at least
Yeah, you need a dopamine
2
kick.
hours
Yeah.
of pure violence since I'm not gonna get it across the season anymore.
Yeah. Yo, is there anybody else other than Keanu Reeves who has more series without being connected to some sort of like Marvel or DC situation? He has so many franchises that he's a part of with multiple.
So we got like
movies.
Matrix. We've got John Wick. We've got what's another? Constantine. We've got 2 coming out.
Well, yeah, that's yet to be the case, but one will come out. Or am I just making this up? Are there no other franchises? that
Yeah,
he's
I
a
think
part
it's
of?
mostly just the Matrix, and John Wick.
No, there's a couple other. There's got to be.
We liked Speed, but he was
Nah,
only
he
in
was only
the first one,
yeah.
right?
Hold on. Keanu.
Yeah, he hasn't had that many
franchises.
trilogies.
Film. Well, I don't even consider them to be trilogies. Just Bill and Ted. That's actually a trilogy.
Really?
Yeah, that's a trilogy. What else? The Sweet November 2. I'm joking. There
Yeah,
was
I
no
don't know
Sweet
what
November
that
2. There was no.
It would be interesting to see like if Keanu ever does do a DC or Marvel film. You know, he was rumored to be a part of like an upcoming. I think he was rumored to have been in like Guardians of the Galaxy or play one of those characters or something like that. But we never get around to it. I would like to see it though. I think Keanu would be an interesting addition to the MCU. Kind of like how Stallone. You know, his like small appearance in the MCU is like the leader of the fucking like whatever that those space hunters were.
Whatever they were called. Yeah.
I forget what they were called. They weren't like the Space Brigade.
No. It
But
was
like
the Nova
Nova Corps or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but like small appearance, but it was oh shit, it's cool. You know, Stallone would do something like that. I think it'd be dope if fucking Keanu came in, villain or hero. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Was I making this up? Like, is he not a part of another franchise? I think I'm making this up.
I only ever thought it was John Wick and The Matrix.
Why does it feel like he's a part of like? so many fucking franchises. Anyways, I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, let's move on to our second trailer here. This is Tetris. So an American and Russian computer geek from an unlikely form an unlikely friendship as they try to evade the KGB and smuggle the world's most famous video game out of the Soviet Union. I always love it when it's just like it's like Tetris, and suddenly we're talking about espionage. We're talking about high stakes, fucking Tetris. Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know the whole story behind this, but it's funny. Like, was Russia really like, this game cannot leave Russia? It's too good. Cannot share this game with the, like, really? we can't just put it online.
It's a game, right?
Trying to keep the original files at the Kremlin. Like, why is this that serious?
Yeah, and what shit are they holding back that have they hidden from the world that the world could have benefited from? A fucking Russia stepped in and was like, no.
The fucking cure to AIDS? No, can't leave Russia.
So this is directed by John S. Baird and written by Noah Pink and stars Taron Egerton, Toby Jones, Sofia Lebdeva, Ben Miles, among others. It is due out May 19th of this particular year. Let's check it out.
Tetris? Tetris. It's the perfect game.
Whoa, dude.
It was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. I played for 5 minutes. I still see falling blocks in my dreams. It's poetry, art, and math all working in magical synchronicity. It's the perfect game. Tetris?
Tetris. I don't get it.
It's a combination of tetra, Greek for four, and tennis.
The Russian inventor, he likes tennis.
This game isn't just addictive. It stays with you. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Hank, only 10 other people in the world have seen what you're about to see. It's called the Game Boy.
Package it with Tetris.
Can you get us the rights?
The Soviet Union had worldwide rights. Nothing gets out easily. I'm gonna go to Moscow.
You're walking into a country that still considers America enemy numero uno.
Okie dokie.
You sure you don't have to talk to your wife about this first?
Pioneers have to bet the house to win.
But not literally.
Listen. Have you ever heard our apartment this quiet before?
This is the inventor of Tetris.
Your game is brilliant. I'm gonna make you a millionaire.
Mr. Hodges, have you ever negotiated with the Soviets?
We're here for Tetris.
Вы все здесь только ради денег.
What do you say? I don't speak Russian.
The most powerful man in Communist Party is watching you and your family.
Do you know where your husband is?
What the hell is going on?
The world is changing, and Soviet Union will not be left behind.
You want to play with the big boys? This is how the world works.
Where is my money?
This is insane.
We can't protect you.
Sometimes you gotta forget the rules.
Go!
This is criminal. The Soviet Union is about to implode. They're lying. Everybody's lying.
Go home. The cavalry is coming.
We don't have time.
I have a plan.
Oh, come on. You guys are the kings of cliffhangers.
Not too bad.
I like it. Looks good. It's kind of like last week we watched the trailer for Air, the Nike movie about Jordan. That looked good.
Yeah.
I like these stories that like. And here's what I think about like this particular film. There's no fucking way. Like there's gonna be some fluff in there, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that anyone knows everything because a lot of this probably happened in Moscow, right? Clearly, it looks like a significant part of the film takes place in Moscow.
Yeah.
How much do we actually know about what happened during this time? Probably not much, but I imagine people did their research, a lot of interviews, talked to people, but there's a lot of shit that we more than likely couldn't know about what happened in like the 70s because it just wasn't being documented or recorded or whatever. So there's going to be a bit of fluff in this film, but it looks funny. It looks interesting. I think it's going to be a great story, similar to Air that we saw last week. And I enjoy these these momentary pieces where it's like we're going to focus on this one small thing that happened to these small groups of people that had like a huge impact on like the world that we live in today. 2 or 3 fucking guys smuggled Tetris out of Russia, and then it went on to become one of the greatest games of all time. With the Air, a couple of guys were like, "Yo, let's get this kid from North Carolina to wear these shoes. We'll call them Jordans." The rest is history. I like stories like these.
Yeah, I'm not sure I do. In terms of just like, it becomes like kind of a semi like action film now of just like, oh my God, he went to Russia and he had to duck the KGB and he fucking, had an Uzi at one point and then, he fucking he met James Bond, and it's like, calm the fuck down. I'm sure it was like a couple contentious meetings. They didn't like what the fuck he had to say, and then somehow he like smuggled the game out or some shit. It's like end of story. Like
I don't know,
roll
man.
credits.
I feel like crazy shit like this probably happened. There's probably so many crazier stories. Like, yo, we got to get these fucking bananas across the Bolivian border, and like they're taxing bananas right now. We got to like this shit probably happens all the time.
Yeah.
Where people have to like sneak stuff in, sneak stuff out, and
Yeah, but
cocaine is not the only thing that's smuggled. I imagine there's been some different rubber. Fucking, we gotta get these rubber bands out of here. Like,
I thought you meant condoms. But what I'm trying to say is like I think the stakes aren't as high as they like for a movie as they like would make them like, oh my, this is like life or death. When in reality it was just like somebody didn't, they stop, sir, and then like that was it. Like
no, these aren't Trump stakes. These are like Trump stakes. We're dealing with Russia here. The stakes are probably very high.
Yeah, that was a fucking good one. I like that one. Anyways, it looks pretty decent. Taron Egerton, so he's come a long way from the Kingsman days. He's kind of carved out a little niche for himself. He played Elton John in what's it called?
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man, yeah. And now he's got this other sort of, I guess, biographical story that he's in. So he's carving out a little niche for himself. Like what they're doing. Looks good. Comes out May 19th again of this year. Let's talk super quick about Ant-Man and the Wasp. So basically, there's like a divide between the fans of these Marvel films, in this case specifically Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and critics. Critics have pretty much panned the movie to the degree where it's got I think a 48% on Rotten Tomato right now for the critic score, and the fans disagree. I think the fans have come out pretty strongly and said that they actually really enjoy the movie. One of the better Marvel movies that they've seen in some time. But yeah, there's this divide. So it actually broadens to a more broader question of, who's right, who's wrong, right? Are critics right for saying a movie is, critically or more technically not up to snuff, or are fans correct in saying, no, we just like the shit, fuck what you guys say?
Yeah, I think the critics in this case, and I'm going to read a quick excerpt here. So it says, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania mostly lacks the spark of fun that elevated earlier adventures, but Jonathan Majors' Kang is a thrilling villain poised to alter the course of the MCU, right? And then there's another excerpt here. I think this is like from one of the fans. It says, honestly, it's a must watch if you're a Marvel fan. I had a lot of fun watching this movie. Critics have no clue as to what they're talking about. This movie is enjoyable if you've kept up with the MCU, including Disney Plus projects.
Yeah, it's got an 84% with the audience.
Yeah. Like, I'm not and it's funny, we do a podcast where we give our opinions on movies and shows and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I never give a fuck what like the critics review is, or like what the critics think are the best films of the year, or what the critics say about. What I care more about are people, like-minded people. What do they think, right? So, if I'm if I'm like, hey, I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I love those movies, and you're like, yeah, I don't like them, and then you tell me you saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, and you're like, oh, I didn't like it. I'm like, well, I know that like your opinion in my opinion, likely differ in ways in which that like wouldn't make sense for me to take your opinion strongly. I have to go see this movie myself.
Yeah.
Like you might be critical of the thing in a completely different way than the way I'm going to experience it, because you just may not be a fan of it. You may not like this particular style of cinematography or storytelling or theatrics or whatever. But if I do, I can't weigh your opinions as heavily as I would weigh somebody else's who I know at least is somewhat inclined to like or respect or value the thing. I think that's what's happening here. The critics are probably like, oh, Ant-Man, it's just another like gimmicky Marvel movie. But if you're a Marvel fan, this is the kickoff to the next phase of like the MCU, and you're like, this is somewhat going to build the rest of the story in the world that we're going to see with the upcoming projects. I mean, how could it not be exciting?
Yeah, I think I think that there's I typically don't listen to critics, and I think what we do on this podcast is a little different than I think what would be considered or what would be in a wheelhouse of a classic critic of hey, here's like Siskel and Ebert, right? They used to like, hey, we're going to give this movie a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or we're going to recommend this movie or whatever the case is. I think what we do in this movie is try to like analyze literally just our opinions about the movie. I don't think I can't say I never, but I rarely have ever say a movie shouldn't be watched. In fact, I always encourage everybody to watch every movie, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's different from critics, where I feel like they feel like people look to them to decide whether to watch a movie. And I'm like, I don't know if that's correct. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to base what I'm going to watch based off of just what somebody else is saying. I'm only going to do it based on just what my understanding of the thing is. Like, so for instance, when they come out with the A24 movie, how I discovered more than half of these movies isn't through like hearing what critics are saying about it. It's by seeing like a trailer or reading about the movie and being like, oh shit, this sounds like really fucking dope. I think I want to see that, and
I've never in my life been like, yo, this movie critic from this
my
place
God, they were
said that
excited.
it was riveting, so I gotta watch it. What the fuck? What did one of my friends say, or what did I see? How good was the
I'll
trailer?
go a step above. I don't even care about that. Like, I mean, if somebody recommends something to me, I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't think I value. Yeah, I go by, like, if something sounds stupid to me, I'm like, doesn't sound like my cup of tea, but I'm glad you appreciated it, right? But if it sounds like it's like, okay, something that's interesting, or if somebody says, hey, I know you'll really like this, maybe it sounds weird or whatever, but I know you'll really enjoy it, then okay, I'll go check it out. But the thing I can say about critics too is that I think critics have incentives, meaning that they can't just say, this movie was okay. Yeah, and maybe describe a little bit about like why they think it's okay. They just have to, they gotta dress it up and make it sound poetic and like, oh, the cacophony of scenes just layered. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. Just, did you like the fucking shit or not? Like, did you exactly. Like I don't need you to fucking but I feel like they're incentivized because they have to do so many reviews and they have to do all this, that they have to like be like super flowery with what they're saying, and they've got to do it in certain ways. And if they hate a movie, they can't just hate it. It's got to be the worst thing ever made.
Yeah.
And it's got to be, and just like, calm down.
Otherwise, then they're just gonna like fall, not necessarily flat.
Nobody's gonna give a shit.
They're gonna
about
live
what
in
they
like
say.
that middle space.
Yeah.
They're not gonna be one of those people that
stand out.
We hate this critic because he hates, like, we don't like this particular critic because he like hates everything,
Yeah.
or we don't like this person because they just like everything, and so their opinion has no value or any weight. So you're right. Critics do have to have some type of like theatrics behind.
Yeah.
You can't like too many shit, and if you don't like it, you can't just dislike it. You have to hate it.
You have to fucking
and then
bury it.
You have to love 2 or 3 films that come out a year,
Yeah.
so that for some reason people think your opinion is more valuable.
Yeah.
And I'm not buying into that bullshit.
Eddie, what do you think?
Yeah. I don't give a shit, honestly. Primarily because, I mean, just look at like how much you guys like to bag on me for the shit that I watch. You know, I will watch a fucking micro budget movie all day long and think, oh shit, like I can see the production value in this, even though they had like 2 cents to fucking put this thing together. When I look at critics, man, like who was it? Was it Roger Ebert who died or something like that? A few years back.
Oh, a few years back. Yeah, I think it was Roger.
Yeah, and like the whole fucking industry was like, putting out their love for it and their sadness, and I'm just like, I've read his opinions, and I didn't give a shit about his opinions.
I mean, damn, he was
That's across the board. I do not care.
Who died?
I do not care.
I think it was Robert Ebert.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like who gives a shit?
Ebert and Roper give his 3 thumbs up.
It became, I believe, it became evil.
He bagged on Pitch Black or something like that back in the day. I was like, nah, I fucking love that movie. So,
yeah, no.
I'm gonna watch the 4th Riddick movie.
I'll take everyone's opinions,
with you guys.
but I will not. Like your opinion, someone's opinion, like, yo, that's a bad movie, or you shouldn't go see it. Like, I'm always still gonna go see it. I'm always gonna watch it. Like, I will always decide for myself if I'm going to spend my money to go see it in theaters, or I'm just gonna wait till it comes out on streaming, or I'm not gonna see it at all. But it has never been based off of someone else's opinion.
I will, however, live and die by one statement: Interstellar sucked. It did. It was just absolutely terrible.
I thought Interstellar was great.
Yeah,
one of my favorite movies of all time. No, he's only saying that because he knows it's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it was terrible.
That's
all that matters.
Look, I still stand by it. I think it's one of. I can hear people's grievances against it. I hear it and I understand it. I just think that for whatever reason, and I think. And I've tried to like nail down exactly what it is. And I think one of the major things of the movie is the score. The score of the movie, I think, is fucking amazing.
The score was good.
Hans Zimmer fucking was out of his mind with that movie.
Yeah, but does Hans ever miss? Like, has there ever been a movie where
there's
you're
been
just
movies
like,
where
wow.
I don't really care, right?
Yeah,
Like,
but also, was there a Hans score movie that you were just like, wow, this was terrible?
No, and I rarely think that a movie's score is terrible. I just don't care about it, right? But it's rare that I care about a movie's score. And Interstellar is one of those movies. The movie that I just can't get out of my mind right now that I adore the score of it is The Fifth Element, and I feel the same way about The Fifth Element that I do
Fifth Element was great.
Interstellar, which is. And now that I even go back and watch, The Fifth Element, there's a lot of things in there, social commentary in there that I think is pretty like relevant, especially like today. But when I go back and think about it, the thing that I love the most about it is the score, and it just creates an atmosphere for the movie that I think is just, it's hard to rival, and it's just the combination between the score and the story that they're trying to tell and how they're telling the story. It all sort of adds up to this like really sort of interesting thing that just works for me. But again, it's the same as you saying you like, and I don't think we ever dog you for watching low budget movies. That's not what we dog you for.
It's the
fucking
what is it called? The tween.
Hold on. What was it? It's the YA. It's the YA. That's come on. You know this. Let's try to act like you don't know this. Yeah, that's what we kill you about. But what I think the main thing there is that you don't give a shit. Yeah, you just keep watching regardless, right? And so I think, but that's what all of us have, right? Like I love, for as much as the older me loves, these movies that are maybe a little bit harder to like grapple with and think about. I still fucking love mindless 80 action movies. They fucking are. They're just the best. What can I say?
Yeah, I swear,
but
I might watch Mark for Death tonight.
You better. I'm going to. But these movies, they're stupid. They're silly. They're dumb. But they're fire. I love them. What do you want me to do? I'm sorry, critic. Who fucking hates it? Who needs to fill in 500 words?
You know what? Here's the thing I'll give to like these like critics who become like well known. Good for you for carving out a niche on giving your opinions on shit. Like good for you. That's stack your bread. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy for you, but I don't respect your opinions.
Especially when you're writing it. There's one thing to be a YouTuber, just get on there and to say some dumb shit, right? It's another thing to keep writing your responses and hoping that people actually take you serious.
Yeah. And then
who's reading your shit?
When they do and you start getting paid for it, you're just like, yo, my opinion's really, I don't really know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just use strong language. That's really all it is. And they get paid for it. Like, good for you. You tricked everybody. You didn't fool me, but you fooled them.
Holy shit.
And I'm happy you're doing well.
Yeah. Do we have time for a last one, or should we just cut it here?
I think I'm up against the clock here.
Okay,
so.
yeah. All right, let's cut it here. It was a good place to end. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys rocking with us for as long as you might have. Thanks for sticking with us through our technical difficulties if you did. Yeah, we'll be back next week, same time, same place, maybe different time. I lied about that because our times are kind of more fluid these days.
I think we're sticking to 2.
We're sticking to 2.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what Addy looks like next week. I don't know if Addy's going to be here with us next week, but yeah. With that being said, I think we'll go ahead and. Get the fuck out of here. Go ahead and run that outro, which is loud as fuck in my ears, which is fine. It's probably my fault. It's not your fault, Eddie. But yeah,
fade out.
Peace the fuck out, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't wait to see Ant-Man tomorrow.
Can't wait to see Mark for death.
Yeah, true. Good weekend.